From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Well, good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us. It's Monday, September 25th.
Let's get started.
I would like to go back to work. I really do hope it's over.
Writing the final chapter in the Hollywood writers' strike. What's in the not yet done deal and how it could affect your fall and winter entertainment.
Everyone in America could be forced to pay the price.
The price we pay while politicians get political. Who wants to shut down the government and for what? People brace for impacts on wallets and work.
It's astounding. It's really hard to believe.
Your community station in Oakland this morning as leaders grapple with a theft epidemic, the ideas and the calls for help.
To see the low crowds was really kind of hard to come into that.
A tough year. What grade A's fans give their club at home this year? And ushering in a Monday with big news for a Sunday on the calendar. What's extra super to get us bumping in the bowl?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. Nice to have you with us on a Monday morning. Over the weekend, I finally broke down and had my first pumpkin spice latte of the season.
Ooh, I need to do that. Well, it is the season. I'm Gianna Franco. I love that it's a little cooler. The temps are sort of kind of making you want that pumpkin spice latte, Jessica. I'm sure you've had one. I'm guessing.
Or two.
Am I right? Have you had one yet?
No, I could never. Yes, of course I had, G. I had them during the summer when they first came out. Now let's take a quick look outside right now. Starting off with our first fall week forecast. It's off to a cool start this morning. We're talking about 50s throughout the Santa Clara Valley right now. This is a live look behind me of those clear skies over San Jose, where we're sitting at 54 degrees this morning. Later into this afternoon, no matter where you live, unless you live along the coast, we're pretty much all sitting in the 70s. So a beautiful fall forecast for us as we head into this afternoon. Here's a quick look at the peninsula. All throughout the peninsula, 50s in the forecast for us. A very similar trend off into Vallejo. Cool conditions for us into this afternoon near San Francisco. Now, the big weather story for us, it's not the temperatures, it's not the fall-like weather. It's actually the rain that's right around the corner for us. So let's actually start off with that. Starting off with our bus time forecast or bus stop forecast for us this morning, though, 50s in the forecast for us just around 7 a.m. Right now near Danville, we're actually going to be warming up into the 70s later today as those kids are coming back from school. And they have something to look forward to, an overnight rain system that's actually going to make the roads a little wet tomorrow morning. You'll get that fresh Pacific air. It'll smell so great. And to add to that, it's going to feel a lot more like fall tomorrow as we wake up and head out the door. Here's that system right now. A live look at that area of low pressure circulating its way in. This is actually just closer to the Pacific Northwest. But as we head into the next couple hours throughout the rest of the day today, notice how that swirls its way into Oregon, a little bit splashes its way closer to our California coastline, and we're going to get just the tail end of it, giving us about 1/10 of an inch of rain in areas like San Francisco and less impressive numbers off into the East Bay. But hey, something's better than nothing, right? This is our first fall system that's moving its way in. It's actually going to be a beautiful way to kick off the week. We wrap up the week nice and dry with more 70s in sight. Back to you, G.
All right, let's take a look at those roadways right now as you work your way out and about this morning. We are still tracking a few brake lights south of here. This is the good news. This is 880 near the Coliseum where traffic is moving along pretty well. But if you're headed into Hayward this morning, we've got a crash reported not too far from that 92 connector. So if you're taking that over towards the San Mateo Bridge, it's certainly going to be a little bit slow there. Okay, live look at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza. Metering lights are on and it is slow. Now we're back to business as usual for anyone making that ride over into San Francisco. That slowest approach still is that East Shore Freeway Drive. And if you're coming from 24 over to 580, they are still wrapping up this traffic alert westbound near the Caldecott Tunnel.
All right, G, thanks. Are you at home sick of reruns? Need something new on your screen? Well, good news this morning. After 5 months of putting their pencils down, Hollywood screenwriters look to have struck a deal with the studio. It's still not a done deal yet, but here's your headline. The Writers Guild of America claims a tentative deal on a new contract for writers who have really worked hard for months trying to get some change. They've held firm on regulation of artificial intelligence, staffing minimums for writers' room, and the distribution of residuals. Well, this morning, we wait to see if writers will ratify that deal. But what does it mean for fresh entertainment on your screen, and when can you see it?
If writers' rooms get back by October, then production is feasible by January. Of course, this is entirely dependent on whether the SAG-AFTRA strike gets resolved.
So let's follow up on what she was just talking about. This other piece, the actors' strike, that has been going on since midsummer, partly as a show of support for writers. So The hope this morning in Hollywood is that the writer's strike ending could speed the end of the actors' strike too. We'll keep watching that one for you. There is theater on a different stage this morning, and this is the political stage we're talking about. Your U.S. government is headed for a shutdown. Check your watches, everybody, because there's a deadline you need to know about. If Congress cannot come together on some really key points by midnight Saturday, the White House is telling federal agencies to prepare to shut down. What does it mean? Well, services paused, paychecks frozen for federal workers. We can tell you, California House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he worked through the weekend trying to get a breakthrough, but so far he is at odds with hardline conservatives. Now, while Washington makes money moves affecting your wallet, maybe you're dreaming of a way to get paid in one big, very easy lump sum.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
It would be fantastic. Well, many of you are starting your week with wishes for a win in a near $1 billion Powerball jackpot. So our Sean Chinnis is live at a 7-Eleven in Alameda this morning. And Sean, we hear this store is pretty lucky. So I'm going to Venmo you $6 to buy me some tickets.
Hey, Gianna Reed, good morning. Yes, many lucky stores throughout the Bay Area. So if you are looking to buy a ticket ahead of tonight's jackpot, you will have options. We certainly know California has had its fair share of winners, including in the drawing that happened on Saturday, just not for the big prize. There was one person in California who got the 5 white balls. A couple other people did in other states. That means they win $1 million. But because nobody got all 6 numbers, the jackpot rolls over into tonight's drawing. That's where we're talking about this big prize, $785 million. If you take the lump sum option, that means you would get $367 million, and this is set to be the 4th largest Powerball in history. Now, the largest one was just last year, that jackpot over $2 billion, that's billion with a B, and the winning ticket did come from California. It was down in Los Angeles County. We do want to take a serious note, though, because there are some scams to watch out for. The Federal Trade Commission says people usually get a call, email, or letter saying you won a sweepstakes or prize. Sometimes these scams even ask you to pay money in order to collect the winnings. Well, Powerball says you will never be contacted by email or social media to tell you about winning a prize unless it's for a special promotion or contest. Also want to share the odds for this jackpot tonight. It is 1 in 292 million. So hopefully you are feeling lucky. Yes, the one behind me is considered lucky, but you can go to the California State Lottery, type in your zip code or city, and they will likely be able to find multiple options within a mile. So plenty of time to start thinking of those numbers and get that ticket. Reed and Gianna, back to you.
I was reading, and sorry to step on you, my friend, that hits on Zillow and Mercedes and all the fancy car websites go up when we start to see the Powerball go up above $500,000. The traffic goes up for people dreaming of houses and cars.
Well, we're all dreaming about it, right? Sean, what would you do with the money? What's the first thing you would do?
So we talked about houses earlier, and I think everybody wants a house, especially in California, right? I mean, it feels like you need to win the lottery just to get a house. But now I'm trying to think about which car I would want, and maybe could I buy a couple cars? So let me start going that direction, maybe one of each. So I'm gonna start looking up cars, Reed, give those websites some extra hits, and then I'll make that decision before tonight's drawing, which, by the way, is just before 8 o'clock our time.
I'd put you in a Bentley, Sean Chinnis.
Wow,
that's what I see you driving,
fancy.
a very dressy
Yes,
Bentley.
yes.
Okay, thank you, my